All right, let's talk about the seducer archetype. But I want you to forget everything you think you know. We're going to throw out all the cliches and dive deep into the core philosophy of what makes this figure so incredibly captivating, and you'll see it has almost nothing to do with what you're probably picturing.
So what if I told you seduction isn't about taking something from someone, but actually giving? That it's not about manipulation, but about this incredibly deep, almost radical kind of attention. Yeah, that's the provocative idea we're digging into today.
Okay, so first things first, we've got to get inside the seducer's head. It all kicks off with this totally different way of looking at the world, a perspective you could call the art of self-deception.
And this right here, this is the fundamental difference. See, most of us, we're stuck in our own heads, right? We're worrying about how we look, what we're going to say next. It's just chaos in there. The seducer, though, they flip that completely. They push all their focus outward, getting totally absorbed in the other person. It's like they start seeing the world through their eyes.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because we're taking a concept that sounds negative, self-deception, and flipping it on its head. This isn't about being delusional. It's a tool. It's a kind of mental discipline they call finesse. Think of it as the ability to just quiet your own ego, push aside your anxieties, and give someone your 100% undivided attention.
And you can see the results of that intense focus right here. The seducer's gaze, it's not just looking, it's active. It's gathering info, learning what makes a person tick, figuring out their secret hopes and their quiet disappointments. Honestly, in a world where everyone's distracted, getting that kind of laser-focused attention from someone, it's so rare that it's practically hypnotic.
So that leads us right into our next big idea. If all the focus is on the other person, then the seducer starts to see themselves not as someone who takes, but as someone who gives, a provider of pleasure.
I love this metaphor of the bee. The idea is that the seducer is a pollinator. They go around, they gather the best parts of life, the adventure, the romance, that feeling of intensity, and they deliver it to people who are just starving for it. They're not stealing anything, they're enriching the world they enter. And this really spells out the gap that the seducer operates in. Look, most people have the basics sorted out. They've got friends, lovers, family, but what do they secretly crave? What's that hidden hunger? It's an escape from the everyday grind. It's that deep-down yearning for adventure and romance that our normal lives just don't always offer.
And we need to be really clear about what we mean by pleasure here. We're not just talking about having a nice time. This is something bigger. It's that feeling of being taken past your limits, of being so overwhelmed by an experience, or by another person, that you kind of forget yourself for a little while. It's transcendent.
Okay, so this brings us right to the heart of it all, the absolute core of the seducer's whole philosophy. This idea that their real mission is to feed a hidden hunger we all have, a hunger for illusion.
So, if the seducer is offering this incredible, overwhelming pleasure, what is it they're actually giving? What's the real gift here?
Well, let me tell you what it's not. It's not more reality. Because let's be honest, if there's one thing we all have plenty of, it's reality. We are absolutely drowning in it.
And boom, there it is. This is the whole key. The seducer gets it. They understand that we're all drowning in the day-to-day. The bills, the obligations, the routine. What we're secretly desperate for is an escape. We want a little fantasy, a touch of illusion. We want permission to just play.
So if the whole point is to provide an illusion, then how do you do it? Well, the method has to be performance. It's about reframing life itself as a kind of grand theater.
Think about it. The idea is that so many of us feel trapped. We play these roles every single day. The responsible employee, the good parent, the predictable friend. And while those roles are important, they can feel so constricting. They can just suck the color right out of life.
So what does the seducer do? They write a new play. As you can see, they become the actor, and their target, they become the treasured audience. The world is the stage just for a little while, and the script is pure fantasy. It's all designed to give you this thrilling escape from those boring, everyday roles.
And this whole performance is built on subtle things. It's about creating a reality that's just a little heightened. The clothes are a bit more interesting, the locations feel a little more magical, the words and actions, they have this edge of unreality to them. It's about creating this perfect, temporary bubble where illusion and reality can just meet and be beautiful for a moment.
Okay, so where does all this lead? Well, it leads to a pretty challenging, maybe even provocative, philosophical idea, the amoral world of the seducer, a world that exists beyond our typical ideas of good and evil. Because if you frame seduction as a performance, as a game, then it starts to operate outside of normal morality, doesn't it? It stops being about right and wrong, it just becomes a form of play. The regular rules of the real world get put on pause, because in theory, both people have agreed to step into this illusion together.
And this quote from the philosopher Jean Baudrillard, it just nails this idea. He says, seduction isn't about some sordid satisfaction at the end. The whole point of the game is the game. It's the enchantment. It's the process. It's the shared magic of the moment.
And if you want to give it some real philosophical muscle, you can even bring in Nietzsche. Whatever is done from love always occurs beyond good and evil. The idea here is that when actions come from a certain kind of love, in this case, a love for the art of the game, a love for fantasy, for giving someone this escape, they operate on a completely different level, one that goes beyond our simple everyday judgments.
And that's where we're going to leave it, with a question that honestly feels more relevant today than ever before. I mean, think about our world of social media, of curated realities and personal brands. Are we all performing in some way? So in this huge theater of life we're all in, how do we ever really know where the performance stops and the real self actually begins? Definitely something to chew on.